Hello and welcome to the Aussie Football Passport, your one-stop pod for updates on your favourite Aussie men and women who are playing their club careers abroad. I'm your host, Alex, and this week we have got plenty of football action to bring you. Our men and women are doing their thing across the globe, whether it be in domestic league action, cup action, or continental cup action. We've got you all covered here, including transfers as well. And let's wait no longer and get straight into it. All right, let's start with the news headlines, and we've got a few transfers to get through this week. Let's start with some of our Matildas. Alana Murphy has just signed with SC Sand in the German second division. The midfielder is looks like it's a good move for Alana there, so good luck to her in Germany. Now, Jacinta Galabadaarachchi, she has signed for Sassuolo in the Italian top flight as they look to strengthen their side further. She'll link up with fellow Aussie Jessica Nash there, and it will take our total up to 4, I believe, in the Serie A Femminile. Now, speaking of Italy or people with Italian surnames, Joe Gauci, he's just signed with EFL League One side Port Vale on a season-long loan from Premier League side Aston Villa. So all the best to Joe there, and hopefully he gets plenty of minutes so he can provide some good competition for Matt Ryan. Now, closer to home, 2 A-League players are on their way overseas. Lucas Harrington, he'll depart Brisbane Roar in January as he has signed for the Colorado Rapids for next year's MLS competition. So he'll stay at the Roar for the first half of the A-League season and look to win a spot in that Colorado Rapids side. So well done to Lucas there. Great move. He had a spectacular A-League season, one of the few bright lights in that Brisbane Roar team that was pretty ordinary last year, let's be quite honest. Now, at the other end of the pitch, Archie Goodwin, he's finally signed for Charlotte FC, also in the MLS. It's believed to be a 3.5-year deal, and it's landed Adelaide United a whopping $2 million US transfer fee. So well done to Archie. One to keep an eye on, and looks to be a good move there. Now to some other headlines, and of course we touched on the ParaMatildas last week. They get their opening game of the tournament, the Intercontinental Cup tournament, I should say. They play Denmark, and we will bring you the wrap of that in next week's episode, as it will be on tonight as I'm recording this. Now let's talk about our under-23 women who are playing in the ASEAN Cup. So last time we left you, they were about to face Timor-Leste, which they did, and they beat them 9-0 in to progress to the knockout stages. So that was really good. 6 changes were made to the side that defeated the Philippines 1-0. 3 days earlier. There were braces from Holly Furphy, Alana Yanchevsky, while the other goals were from Grace Johnson, Amelia Macris, and Letitia McKenna, and Adine Keane. That is a tongue twister, believe it or not. And there was also an own goal from Timor-Leste there as well. So they then went on to the knockout stages, and they beat the host nation Vietnam 2-1 to book their place in the tournament final. The coach made 4 changes to the side that beat Timor-Leste. And this time it was Letitia McKenna and Adine Keane who scored the goals early on to silence the parochial home crowd there against the host nation. So well done to the girls. They now face Myanmar in the final, and they'll be hoping for revenge as that opening game they did lose to Myanmar in the tournament earlier. So all right, that is a quick, sharp news headline this week, but we've got plenty to get through in the weekly wrap in just a second. All right, weekly wrap time, and let's start with our ladies in the USA, where Alana Kennedy, she got full game for Angel City in their 0-0 draw against the Utah Royals. So Alana Kennedy back in that centre-back role, playing a crucial part in that clean sheet for her side. Now, there was a Matildas derby as Portland Thorns played North Carolina Courage. Mackenzie Arnold, of course, played the full game in goal and made 6 saves in another draw, but this time it was a 1-1 draw there. So well done there. Caitlin Torpey, she played 27 minutes for the Thorns, while Courtney Viner played 16 minutes. Now, let's head to Mexico. And Emily Gilnick, she played the full game for Monterrey in a comprehensive 4-0 loss to Cruz Azul in midweek league action. However, she didn't get any minutes on the weekend as her side bounced back from that loss with a 3-1 win against Santos Laguna. Now, let's head to Sweden, where Kristianstad got a 2-1 win over FC Rosengard, with our Aussies featuring in that one. Amy Sayer, she played 74 minutes and put on an assist, while Remy Simpson, she played 88 minutes in that one. Now, there was another Matildas derby, this time in Sweden, of course, with Malmo beating AIK 2-0. Courtney Nevin played the full game at left back for Malmo, whilst Jada Wyman was between the sticks for AIK. Now, let's head to England, where it's pre-season friendly time. Tottenham Hotspur, they kicked off their pre-season with a 0-0 draw against Sevilla in Spain. Charlie Grant, she started the game for Spurs, whilst Claire Hunt came off the bench in that one. Hayley Raso did not travel with the squad, further fueling the speculation that she will leave the club there. Now, Ellie Carpenter, she made her first appearance for Chelsea as she featured in a 1-0 draw with Ajax in the Netherlands. She played the full game, and of course, Sam Kerr did not feature as she continues her recovery from that knee injury. Now, Arsenal, they began their pre-season with a 3-0 win over Eintracht Frankfurt in a behind closed doors friendly in Germany. Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford, and Kyra Cooney-Cross all featured in that one. Now over to Italy, and Alex Chidiak's FC Como, they claimed bronze at the Women's Cup. They defeated Atletico Madrid in the third place playoff, with Chidiak starting in that victory. All right, now let's head over to our men, where Aidan O'Neill, I should state where we're going first, the USA, to the MLS specifically. And Aidan O'Neill, he played a full game for New York City as they beat Nashville 2-1. He made 3 tackles in that one, if you were interested. And Patrick Yazbek was in opposition and played the full game for Nashville. Now, Kai Rolls, he played the full game for DC United in a 1-0 draw with Montreal. So it looks like maybe DC United are turning a slight corner. Of course, they'd like to get a win on the boards, but they'll have to do with a draw there. All right, now over to the UK, specifically England and Wales to begin with, where we had some EFL Cup action in midweek, as well as league action on the weekend. And let's start with Blackburn's new signing, Lewis Miller. He got the full game for his side in their EFL Cup game against Bradford City. The game ended 2-1 in Bradford's favour, unfortunately, so they are out of the EFL Cup. He then backed up with 21 minutes in Blackburn's league game against Birmingham. Unfortunately, they lost to 2 last-gasp goals from Birmingham, I should say. In that one, it was 2-1. All right. Now, Cameron Burgess, he had a pretty productive week. He got 2 full games, the first of which was a 3-1 win for his side Swansea over Crawley Town in the EFL Cup. He then backed it up with, as I said, another full game. This time he helped his side to a clean sheet over Sheffield United, who were promotion hopefuls. Of course, actually played in the promotion playoff against Sunderland to win promotion to the Premier League last year. So that is a very good win for Swansea. Now, Wingman Nestori Irankunda, he played the full game for Watford in their 2-1 loss to Norwich in the EFL Cup. He then backed it up with 56 minutes and provided an assist for his side as they beat QPR 2-1 in the Aussie Derby. So let's cover our QPR boys. First of all, they played a midweek game in the EFL Cup going down 3-2 to Plymouth Argyle in another Aussie Derby. There's going to be a few of them throughout this season. So make sure you, I'll cover you for all of them for sure. Anyway, back to where we were. Daniel Benny played the full game in the game against Plymouth Argyle and scored, whilst Jalen Pearman played 85 minutes. Keely Adamson, unfortunately, didn't feature in either game for QPR, whilst on the winning side, Caleb Watts played 33 minutes from the bench. Whilst we're on Caleb, he played 56 minutes for Plymouth on the weekend in League One action as they lost 3-2 to Lincoln City there. All right, now let's go to Portsmouth, where we've got heaps of Aussies. Hayden Matthews and Jacob Farrell both played full games for Portsmouth in their 2-1 loss to Reading in the EFL Cup. Adrian Segacic came off the bench and played 21 minutes and got an assist for his side's goal there, whilst Thomas Waddingham played 60 minutes in that game. Then onto the weekend, where they returned to championship action, or league action if you like. Unfortunately, it was the same scoreline and the same result. This time they went down to Norwich 2-1. Thomas Waddingham, he came on in the 70th minute for that game, whilst Hayden Matthews was on the bench but got no minutes, and Jacob Farrell was not in the matchday squad, unfortunately. Now to Derby County, where Callum Elder got a full game in their 4-3 win over West Brom in the EFL Cup. He then backed it up at the weekend as his side unfortunately went down into a bit of a goal-a-thon. This time they played Coventry and the result was 5-3, but Callum did get the goal, so well done there. So speaking of Coventry, we have Rafael Borges Rodriguez. He came off the bench in the 89th minute in his side's win over Derby. Going back to midweek EFL Cup action, he got 74 minutes for his side Coventry as they beat Luton Town 1-0. Now to Middlesbrough, where we've got a couple more Aussies, and Tom Glover, he got the full game between the sticks as Borough unfortunately went down 4-0 to Doncaster in EFL Cup. And then at the weekend, Middlesbrough beat Millwall 3-0 in yet another Australian derby in the championship this time. So Sam Silvera played 90 minutes before being substituted for Borough, whilst Mas Luongo came on in the 79th minute for Millwall. Tom Glover was on the bench for Borough in that one. Now, going back to midweek action for Millwall, Mas Luongo, he got the full game as his side Millwall beat Newport County 1-0. All right, now dropping down to the under-21s, Garen Quoll got 56 minutes for Newcastle's under-21 side in their National League Cup game against Gateshead. They beat them 4-3 in that one. Now down to League One action, and Jay Coleman got 26 minutes for Walsall in their 0-0 draw with Stoke City. Now let's stay on the British Isles and head north to Scotland, where Hibs had 2 games this week. They had Europa Conference League qualification. They played Partizan Belgrade. Martin Boyle played 90 minutes of his side's 3-2 extra time loss in that one. John Idale, he got the full 120 minutes in that one. Then Martin Boyle backed it up on the weekend in an Australian derby. Can you believe it? Another Australian derby. They're just everywhere. He got 62 minutes in Hibs' 2-0 win over Livingston and provided the assist for Hibs' first goal there. John Idale played the full game for Hibs. In opposition, Ryan McGowan played the full game for Livy, while Tete Yangi came on in the 85th minute in that one. Now, talking about going back to Conference League qualification, Zach Sapsford, he played the first half and then went off with an injury whilst playing for his side at Dundee United in their 2-2 draw with Rapid Wien. His coach stated that it is an ankle ligament injury that will keep him out of action for 2 to 4 weeks. So rest up, Zach, and hope to see you back on the pitch soon. Aberdeen, they beat Greenock Morton 3-0, where we had our Aussies link up for the second goal. Nicholas Milanovic provided the assist for Kasuni Yengi's first goal for his new club, Aberdeen there. Yengi played the full game whilst Milanovic played 60 minutes. And that game, I should mention, is in the Scottish League Cup. So Aberdeen will progress to the next stage now. Now, staying with Scottish League Cup action, Keanu Bacchus played 83 minutes for St Mirren as they beat Hearts in a penalty shootout, I should say. In opposition, Cameron Devlin played the full game. Now, Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, he got 117 minutes for Motherwell in their 1-0 extra time victory over Kilmarnock there. Now, let's head to warmer climes in Croatia, where Fran Karacic, he was involved and played the full game, including extra time, and actually got the only goal for Hajduk Split in their 3-1 loss to Dinamo Tirana in Conference League qualification. Unfortunately, that result means Hajduk have been knocked out of the tournament. So sad news, but the football world doesn't stop. Karacic backed it up with a full game in his side's 3-0 win over Slaven Belopo in the Croatian League. Now, his Aussie teammate, Anthony Kalic, he played 58 minutes in that Conference League qualifier, but did not get any game time in the Croatian League game on the weekend. He was on the bench, just didn't get off the bench in that one. Now, let's head to the Netherlands, where Jordan Boss, he played the full game for Feyenoord in their 5-2 loss to Fenerbahce, which means they have been knocked out of the Champions League and will drop down to Europa League qualification from here. He then backed it up with 57 minutes in his side's 2-1 win against Excelsior in the Dutch league there. Now, staying in the Dutch league, Arjen Hrustic played 10 minutes for Heracles Almelo in their 4-1 loss to NEC Nijmegen there. Max Ballard, he got a full game for NAC Breda in their 2-1 win against Fortuna Sittard there. Now, over to Austria, where Noah Botic got 15 minutes for Austria Wien in their 1-1 draw with Banik Ostrava in Conference League qualification. That results, however, knocked them out of the competition. So no European Conference League action for Noah Botic this season. At the weekend, they returned to Austrian League action, and he was subbed on in the 78th minute of his side's 2-1 loss to LASK in there. Now, Jed Drew, he continued his hot streak, scoring for Hartberg in their 2-1 loss to Red Bull Salzburg. He got 75 minutes in that game. Now, Jacob Italiano, he got the full game for Grazer AK in their 1-1 draw with WSG Tyrrell. Now, over to Norway, and Nicholas D'Agostino got 13 minutes for Viking in their 1-1 draw with Istanbul Basaksehir in Conference League qualification. However, that result means Viking have also been knocked out of the competition. So unlucky to our Aussie lads in Conference League qualification this week. Now, down to Denmark, where Mohamed Touré was taken off after 12 minutes due to suffering an injury in Randers' 3-2 loss to OB in Danish league action. He did provide the assist whilst he was on the pitch, though. Now, in better news, Paul Itzo did return from injury for the same side, this time on the weekend against Brøndby. Unfortunately, Randers lost 2-0 there. Now over to Serbia, where Miloš Steganek played the full game for TSC as they lost 3-1 to OFK Beograd there. Now to Hungary, Daniel Arzani, he got 13 minutes in Ferencváros's 2-1 lost to Puskás in Hungarian league action. Now to Spain and Alamabil. He got 75 minutes as Castellon kicked off their Segunda Division campaign. They did go down to Racing Santander, I should say, 3-1 in that one. Now to Germany, where Conor Metcalf came on in the second half stoppage time as St. Pauli beat Eintracht Nordstadt 3-2 on penalties following a 0-0 draw. That was in DFB Pokal action, or German Cup action, for us non-German speakers. Now, finally, on the weekly wrap, we go to one of our favourites here on the podcast, Italy. Alessandro Cecchetti. He played the full game of Parma's 2-0 win against Pescara in the Coppa Italia. So they progress to the next round. All right, that is it for the weekly wrap. Next up is Players of the Week. All right, it is Players of the Week time. And look, our ladies trying their best out there, but not much to pick from this week. However, we did have a goal scorer, and her name was Daniela Galic. She scored her first goal for her new side, Vittsjö, in Sweden. It was an 86-minute equaliser as she managed to salvage a point for her side in their game against Djurgården. Galic started the game and played 86 minutes in that one. So well done, Daniela. Great effort there. Now, I realised I made a bit of a slip of the tongue with the men's player of the week earlier. I did mention him, unfortunately, earlier in the show, but that is life. But it is none other than a man who we're tipping for great things and quite potentially to be in the September Socceroos squad, Adrian Segacic. So he played 2 games during the week. He picked up an assist in Portsmouth's 2-1 loss to Reading in the EFL Cup action there. He was only on the park for 20-odd minutes as well, so made an instant impact, you could say. He then continued this sparkling form he's been in of late, scoring Portsmouth's only goal in that 2-1 defeat to Norwich City in English Championship action there. So well done, Adrian. Let's hope Tony Popovic is watching and he gets picked, as I said, in that Socceroos squad in September. All right, well, that is it for another week of the Aussie Football Passport. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and rate the show on whatever platform you are listening to this on. Of course, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are on X, Facebook, and Instagram as well. And we'll try and keep you updated as we have been with the latest goals and transfer news there during the week. All right, so that is it. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.